All right. Moving on, also on what's brewing, Gurugram-based Wealthtech company ZFunds has raised 25 crore rupees in seed funding led by Elevation Capital with participation from Yashish Dahiya, the co-founder and group CEO of Policy Bazaar Group. Launched in 2019, ZFunds aims to enhance mutual fund investing experience and outcomes for investors by empowering distributors with the right technology and tools. To elaborate more, joining me now is Manish Kothari, the co-founder and CEO of ZFunds. Manish, welcome to Startup Street. First, take us through the critical gaps that you see in the mutual funds industry in India, and then tell us how are you at ZFunds bridging these gaps through your tech platform?
Thanks, Shruti, for having us here. In the mutual fund industry in our space, if you've seen the last few years, a significant amount of work has happened to build the transactional infrastructure, which essentially means that if a customer wants to transact or do an SIP, he can do that in 5 minutes, including his KYC, etc. But what we see is that whenever people want to invest a significant part of their savings, they seek, expert commitment or an expert's commitment for the next 10, 15, 20 years, because that's the period people invest for. And we see this as the biggest gap today. This is something that is missing. We have just one, advisor or distributor for 10,000 people in our country. I think, ZFunds, using tech, we can build a distribution infrastructure or an advice infrastructure, which can solve for this. This will be done primarily in two ways. One, getting new generation distributors or advisors, ready for this business. And second is some part of existing distributors, upskilling them, making them capable to handle complex customers' requirements.
All right, Manish, the mutual funds industry in India is significantly underserved, like you mentioned, with only one distributor for every 10,000 investors. So tell us, how easy is it for traditional offline distributors to use the ZFunds platform? How are you helping them meet the evolving demands of investors? What kind of efficiency do you bring in? If you could give us a use case.
And I say this a lot of times, mutual fund distribution today is not a one-man's job. To excel in this business, a distributor needs to do at least 4 things. Needs to specialize, not just do, but needs to specialize in at least 4 things, which is product research capabilities, technology, relationship management, and 4th is regulatory compliance. Not specializing in any one of these will result in a friction between the distributor and his customers. I think with the right use of technology, and the sole purpose of technology at ZFunds being enhancing distributors' customers' relationships, we've solved this to a great extent. And over the next few years, the team is committed to ensure that whether it is trust, whether it is technology, whether it is product research, or relationship management, we will use technology to solve all of this at world scale.
All right. Manish, what systems or checks do you have in place in order to curb mis-selling of mutual funds?
Mis-selling, and again, what I have been a wealth manager myself. I've seen my colleagues, etc. I've seen a lot of clients. Mis-selling, the primary reason for mis-selling is flow of information or access to information. When your customers and distributors are on the same app, they can see the same thing. They have access to the same information. I think you can curb mis-selling by about 98, 99%. I'm very, very proud to say that about 70% sales, SIP sales, etc., that happens on our platform happens on recommended funds.
All right, moving on, if you could, let's talk about the fresh funds raised. You're now armed with fresh funds. How do you plan to scale up your distribution network further and strengthen your technical capabilities further? Also, if you could first throw some light on where you are currently, what is the scale and reach now?
In terms of scale, we currently have about 10,000 distribution partners who work with us. We've helped about 60,000 customers or Indians strengthen their personal balance sheet through savings in the right instrument. Our total collective AUM currently is about slightly over 1,000 crores in mutual funds. If you include other products, it will be close to about 1,400 crores. So that's about scale.
Okay. And Manish, which segments are you seeing more traction in?
Sorry?
Which segments are you seeing maximum traction?
Our business, how we build this business is, on SIPs. So our primary focus has been on SIPs, honestly. Within SIPs, we see this segment, which is, let's say, about 5,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees of monthly SIP. That is the segment we see the highest traction.
Okay. One final question, and if you could answer that quickly, if you could take us through your revenue model, the kind of commissions you're giving, and how have you beefed up your compliances for regulatory scrutiny? And are there any plans to diversify further into insurance or small ticket loans?
In terms of revenue, our revenue lines are very simple. It's a percentage of AUM that we make every year. We are at an annualized revenue, through the mutual fund business, about 10 crores a year. Your second question was about insurance.
Yes.
Right.
Would you look at diversifying?
Insurance, though we want to do, and it's a very, very important gap. But I feel within mutual funds and within wealth, there is a lot of gap. And we want to be the best there before we move on into a completely new category.
All right, Manish, we've completely run out of time, but many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today, and wish you